Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah, amma ba'd. Welcome to another Prepare Yourself for Ramadan reminder. And inshallah, today our focus is going to be on maximize your Ramadan. So let's talk about how to maximize your Ramadan. First and foremost, you only have a very limited amount of time in your life and in Ramadan. Because Allah said, أيام معدودات. They are a fixed number of prescribed days. It's limited. Now that in itself tells you that this opportunity is finite, is limited, and once it's gone, it's over. So how are we going to benefit and maximize this time? So one thought I want you to put in your minds is that everyone will fast, and everyone will pray Taraweeh, and everyone will read Quran. So what can I do that will make me special and stand out with Allah? So the whole focus should be, how am I going to stand out so Allah notices me? You know, whenever you have someone that you look up to, it could be a teacher, it could be a boss, it could be someone in power and authority. You want to stand out so they notice you, so they give you something special. When you look at even the prophets, you look at the example of Dawood alayhi salam and his son Sulaiman alayhi salam. Dawood alayhi salam is a king. He has dominion, sovereignty, power, army. He has special gifts from Allah. He has a beautiful voice which he recites the book of Allah that was given to him, the Psalms, the Zabur. He recites it in a beautiful voice, and he can talk to animals, just like his son inherits from him, Sulaiman alayhi salam. But what does Sulaiman alayhi salam say in Surah Sad? He says, "Oh Allah, give me a kingdom which you are not going to bestow upon anyone except me." He wants to be special with Allah. So how are we going to make ourselves special in the sight of Allah so He rewards us in a way that no one else is rewarded? This is the question. Now the thing you can do, the thing that makes you special, is the gifts that Allah has given you. What are the gifts that Allah has given you? The greatest of those gifts is your heart and your sincerity. Because deeds are not judged and not weighed because of the outward appearance of those deeds. It's weighed by the heart. How sincere are you? Because at the end of the day, no matter what you do, if it's not sincerely for Allah, if it's not purely for Him, then Allah doesn't want anything to do with it. The core is not the outward appearances and the superficial. You come to these TV stations, and what do? They're thinking about how you look, how you dress, and even on the camera, how is he going to appear, etc., etc. This is what the life of this world has become. Superficial. What does Allah say? The Prophet ﷺ said, "Inna Allah la yanzuru ila suwarikum," and in some riwayat, ajsamikum. Allah doesn't look at your shapes and your forms and your bodies. What does He look at? وَلَكِنْ يَنْظُرُ إِلَىٰ قُلُوبِكُمْ وَأَعْمَالِكُمْ. The only thing Allah is interested in, first and foremost, He says, your heart. What's the state of your heart? Do you really want Allah? Do you really want to sacrifice for Allah? And are you going to do it the way Allah has prescribed through His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? That's the only thing Allah is interested in. So how are you going to maximize your Ramadan then? I'm going to do things that are difficult for me because Allah loves them. I'm going to give up things that I love because Allah loves something else more. Isn't that the spirit of Ramadan? What did Allah say? يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Allah said, fasting is prescribed on you, O believers, just as it was prescribed on those before you. Everyone had to sacrifice. لعلكم تتقون. So you can reach the highest stations of sacrificing for Allah. When you sacrifice for Allah, what does it prove? The Prophet ﷺ says, وَالصَّدَقَةُ burhan. That giving for the sake of Allah, sacrificing your wealth for the sake of Allah, it is a proof. A proof of what? A proof that you love Allah more than this thing. More than this thing you're giving up, you love Allah. That's why you give it up for His sake. Now you look at Ramadan. What did the Prophet ﷺ say? Ramadan is not about just leaving your food and drink. That doesn't give you the reward, because the Prophet ﷺ says, مَنْ لَمْ يَدَعْ قَوْلَ الزُّورِ وَالْعَمَلَ بِهِ وَالْجَهْلَ فَلَيْسَ لِلَّهِ حَاجَةٌ أَنْ يَدَعْ طَعَامَهُ وَشَرَابَهُ. Whoever doesn't give up lying and doesn't give up acting in an angry way where his emotions just take over, and he doesn't leave off this bad behavior and just being arrogant and being bad-mannered and hot-tempered with people, then Allah doesn't need his fasting. Doesn't need him to stay away from food and drink. So what is the fasting? It is the whole message of Islam. You're a human being. Allah has elevated you. Allah gave you a rank with which you can become better than the angels. And how is it? It's exactly what Allah said. وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. Whoever fears standing in front of Allah knows that that is the reality, and I'm going to be there very soon. And then what does he do? He says no to his internal desires. He tames them. He says, no, you can't have it, my soul, because there's something better waiting for you. So he manages them and controls them. فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. For him, Allah has prepared the ultimate bliss that is eternal, never ending. That's the spirit of Ramadan. So how do you incorporate that spirit and thus maximize your Ramadan? What are the things you love? What are the things that you love? Every one of us loves money. Every one of us without exception. Every single one of us loves things from this dunya. Allah made this ingrained in our hearts. And then Allah said, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. You will never attain piety. Listen carefully. You will never attain piety until you give from that which you love. Many of us love different things. Some of us love cars more than anything else. Some of us love our time more than anything else. Some of us love just spending time enjoying ourselves. Can we turn that and give it up, sacrifice it for the sake of Allah? Because that's where you will personally earn the most reward for yourself. Ash-Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, you know, when Ramadan comes, everyone gets busy. They get busy in reading Quran, they get busy in praying extra prayers along with the obligatory prayers, and they get busy in giving charity. These are all good deeds, and it's really good that everyone gets involved in those. But those who actually have the higher level thinking and want to maximize their Ramadan, they realize that, you know what? These things are personal acts of worship. If I can bring more benefit to the people around me and to the world, then I will achieve greater rewards from Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said that the best of people are أنفعهم للناس, are those who bring about the most benefit. How can you bring about the most benefit to the most amount of people? Is it through the money that Allah has given to you? Is it through the knowledge that Allah has given to you? Is it through something else with which you can serve the people? Many of us, we get preoccupied in the ritual acts of worship in Ramadan, and we forget these other vitally important deeds that we can do. We even forget something simple that we neglect so many times in our lives. What are the greatest places that Allah loves and are the most beloved places to Allah in the world? Masajiduha. The Prophet ﷺ says there are the masjids of the earth. Allah loves them. And then the Prophet ﷺ, he says, مَجْتَمَعَ قَوْمٌ فِي بَيْتٍ مِّن بُيُوتِ اللَّهِ, that a people do not gather in a house from the houses of Allah. يَتَدَارَسُونَ الْقُرْآنِ, yani studying the Quran together, coming together to learn from the Quran, except that they're showered with so many different blessings. Coming together to help one another on sacrificing for the sake of Allah, this gets you the most and the greatest type of reward from Allah. And the Prophet ﷺ summarized it for us. He said, وَاللَّهُ فِي عَوْنِ الْعَبْدِ مَا كَانَ الْعَبْدُ فِي عَوْنِ أَخِيهِ. If you're at the service of your brother in Islam, you're bringing benefit to the people, Allah is at your service. There's no way you can maximize your Ramadan unless Allah is aiding you and helping you. Don't think you can come up with these activities and opportunities. When Allah sees your sincerity, sees that you want to do what He wants, then He's going to open up doors that you can't imagine. May Allah give us tawfiq and open up the doors and avenues to the greatest good so that we can maximize our Ramadan. Until next time, this is your brother in Islam, Shaqur Rehman. Jazakumullahu khaira. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.